going to be going over some stretches and some exercises that are going to be very effective in working out different areas of your body, probably a little bit more effectively than how most people stretch. This health talk isn't for everybody. It's for people who want to get a little bit better function out of their body. I work with a lot of athletes, a lot of people who are trying to improve function. The stretching will help for somebody that, whether it's a muscle, tendon, the belly itself. The stretching is going to be good for seniors looking to stay active, to stay mobile, and to increase flexibility. But mostly it's for people who want to be proactive with their body and do things that are going to help keep them younger and feeling better and lasting longer. So this health talk isn't for everybody, because most people know that they should be doing something every day to take care of their body, and yet not everybody does something every day. So it's for the few people who want to be proactive and do things to help stay young longer, which gives you a better quality of life at the end of your life, and that allows you to live those years in your home and not a home. And you can't fix it then, you got to do it now. So we're going to go through different stretches with the body. We're going to go through stretches, upper body, spine, lower body. We're going to do them standing, kneeling, sitting down. Participate, try them out. I want you to hear the talk, try them, and then listen to it again, because there are going to be things you're going to miss that won't make sense until you really feel the body parts moving. There's a couple stretches that I've made up that target the area better, but what I want you to feel is that when we do these stretches, I don't want you to just feel a stretch. When you stretch your quad, it's not supposed to be just the front of the leg. The quad is made up of 4 muscles, and I want you to feel not just the 4 muscles, but that you're stretching different parts of each muscle. So when you do the groin, 5 muscles in the groin, I don't want you to just stretch it. I want you to target the area that's bothering you. If it's down at the knee, if it's up the hip, there's a way to target it that it works the front towards the quad or the back towards the hamstring. So we're going to isolate and move different muscles, but the one concept I want you to come back to that we're going to circle through is that you can add a combination to the stretch, and that's what I want you to leave learning, doing. It's what we do with a lot of the athletic teams. It's what we teach a lot of the kids when they're actively stretching, and the weekend warriors who are trying to stay active, stretching. But when you do these moves, you're going to move a joint a certain way and stretch a muscle. And if you stretch the joint in a different way and do the same stretch, you'll feel it in a different place. So for instance, if you just take your head and tilt your head to one side and start with your head and then pull your shoulder down, you're going to feel that stretch down towards the shoulder. So you're going to first move one part of your body to draw tension, and then move the second body part, and that's where you're going to feel the stretch. So if you tilt your head and then drop your shoulder, you're going to feel that in the muscle that connects your neck to your shoulder down near the shoulder. If instead you relax and drop your shoulder down and even hold onto a cabinet, bottom of a table or something, and then pull your head across, you'll feel that up higher at the base of your skull. So you can stretch either end of the same muscle, either end of the belly at the tendon, and you can focus on where you feel things. So that's true in your neck, it's true in every part of your body. So we're going to use that for your hamstrings, we're going to use it for the groin, we'll use that for neck and shoulder, arms, all sorts of different moves. So, everybody has a different issue. Everybody's got a different muscle part that is bothering them or that needs to be stretched. But we're going to go through different areas. Certain stretches, you won't feel a thing. It'll just be a nice movement. And certain stretches, you're going to complain. They're going to say something's bothering you. So we'll go through them. And at any point, if something is bothering you specifically and we need to tweak the stretch, just let me know. All right? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's start off seated. We're going to start sitting down. I don't know if you need to change that so you get everybody on visual here. But if I were to ask you guys to stretch your hamstrings, how do most people stretch their hamstrings? Go ahead and do the stretch. You're doing perfect. That's exactly what they do. They lengthen it, they lock the knee, and they bend at the waist. And when you lock the knee and bend at the waist, you're going to stretch behind the knee. So any joint you lock, especially the hamstring, you're going to stretch behind what you locked. So to do that stretch, locking your knee and then bending down, you'll feel that stretch down into the top of the calf and behind the knee, which is a great lower hamstring stretch. But you want to bring the stretch up a little higher. Sitting down, you can do this. It's better to stand, but sitting down, bend your knees for a minute. Just take some slack. Bend them a little bit more. Now, stretch down, do that same hamstring stretch. And now straighten your legs. Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. Don't just stretch them down. Create tension in the hamstring and then lengthen them. If you do it right, you can't get the knees to go straight because you've locked the tension. Exactly. Oh dear God. Okay? So do it again. Back up the stretch again. So when you hold a stretch, there's 1,000 different ways to stretch if you talk to 1,000 different people. You can stretch and hold it for 30 seconds. You can stretch and hold it for 12 seconds. There's no magic to the number. What you want to do is get a stretch into the muscle, relax it, let it reset its flexibility, and then stretch it again. I will tell you, hold a stretch for 2 to 3 seconds, relax it, do it again for 2 to 3 seconds. So as you stretch there, standing, you just start with your knees bent, same thing you guys are doing, and with your knees bent, now try and stretch down and then straighten the legs. And like I said, if you do it right, there's too much tension to make it go straight. Hold it for 2 to 3 seconds, relax it, and do it again. And as you do it again, you'll get further into the stretch. You can repeat it and do it again. If you keep going further and further, you're getting more elasticity, more flexibility into the muscle, getting a deeper stretch. Okay? So most people lock the joint and stretch. Most people are stretching behind the knee for hamstrings. Most people pull a hamstring up in the belly. So you want to do it with a bent knee. So we're going to end with that standing. I'm going to have you guys all do it standing because it's a lot more effective and efficient to do it. But that's stretching. Groin, how would you stretch your groin sitting down? Perfect. Butterfly. So now you stretch. You can lean forward. If you keep your spine straight and arch forward, you'll feel that stretch in a different place. And then relax. Versus if you lean forward, put your elbows on your knees, bend down into your pelvis, and then go forward. Can you feel it in a different place, a different way? Mm-hmm. So if you keep your spine straight, you're rotating your pelvis up. It's going to lock and rotate your groin muscle as it attaches in at your pubic bone. And now as you stretch, you're going to draw it tense differently in a different area in the same muscle than if you relax, let your pelvic bones open, drop your stomach forward into that space and stretch down. You'll have a different flexibility, a different ability to get down, and a different range of motion as you do that. Okay, and the last one we'll do sitting down is low back. Okay, so I want you guys to crisscross one leg over like this. So put that other foot flat on the ground. Okay, take your opposite arm, crisscross the elbow. Don't do it hard or fast, but use that elbow to drive off the knee and just allow your spine to rotate. Bring your hand behind you and just look behind you. And just feel that stretch come across your low back. Hold it for 1 or 2 seconds, 3, whatever. Relax. And now do it again and go a little bit further. Really get that rotational stretch. You're not trying to make anything pop or release. You're just rotating the spine. And now when you relax this time, I want you to now arch your back. And this time, push up and across. And as you lift and push across, you'll feel that stretch. Instead of coming across, you'll feel it come up your back. Can you feel it?
Yep.
So stretch that way versus relax, arch your back, and now lift up here. Stretch. Feel the difference? So as you rotate and lift, you're recruiting, you're tightening muscles in a different pattern, and instead of stretching across, it's going to stretch up. So it gives you a better ability to stretch your low back. So sitting down, you can simply sitting there, you can stretch back of the leg, inner leg, up into the pelvis, and you can stretch your low back on that same inner back side and stretch your low back. A lot of things for the lower back part of the body, pretty easy to stretch. Can you grab a gallon of jump rope or something in the basket? Something that you can do to really target your muscles and really relax your hamstrings is to use a rope or a gown or a, thank you so much, anything, elastic band, a towel, anything that you have that's going to create more flexibility. Eric, would you mind rolling out this way for a second? Put your legs towards the windows, so you're sideways. So put this around the bottom of your feet.
The whole thing, or
Yeah,
do you
just-
want to double up?
Just up it, so you can hold it both of your hands. So now, you're just going to do one leg. So slide to your left about a foot, because then you'll get like that. So now go ahead and lay all the way back. So now if you're going to do hamstrings, when you're sitting down, you lengthen the muscle and you lean forward, it's passive to the muscle because you're not doing anything with it as you lean. The other way you can do it is on your back, is have somebody help you. It's a passive stretch that allows you to get much further if you have somebody helping you. But if you're by yourself, you can use a rope. So let's use this one for just a second. Bring this leg, no, it's okay, you're fine.
Oh.
You're fine. Just bring this leg all the way up for a second. So lock the knee, hamstring goes to about right there. That's all the range of motion. If we bend the knee, bring it up further, and now have you straighten it a bit deeper. You can feel it down in here. Yeah. Okay? A little bit deeper stretch, a little bit better range of motion in the hip. If he takes the rope and does it, so put the rope under this foot. Now you lock it, you bring it up. Because he's pulling and relaxes this, he'll get much further locking it down into here at the hamstring. And then if you relax it, bend the knee up towards your chest, and then drive your foot to the ceiling and get that stretch. Can you feel that in there?
Yeah.
So a much deeper stretch. Now that's one stretch. Now relax it for a second. Come back up, do it again. Go right back into that bent knee again. Now come across this way a little bit. As you come up, stretch it in this way. By coming across, you're now targeting the side of that tricep, and you're going to focus the tension on one side of the three muscles now, and then relax it, and come up on the outside. Let your leg drift outward a little bit. Now you're recruiting some groin muscle, which recruits the inner hamstring, and now as he brings it up, now he's doing the inner leg. So by going straight up, a little bit to one side, and then a little bit to the other, you hold each one for 2 to 3 seconds. In that same 10 seconds, you stretch all 3 hamstring muscles instead of just one. Feel it? Yeah, like so really good. Now if you let your leg go all the way, keep it up. Keep it bent a little bit. Now just let your leg drift all the way out there. Control it on the way down. Now it's groin. And if you can keep this hip down here and let your leg drop, that's all groin muscle right inside.
That's great.
So now you did outside hamstring, regular hamstring, inside hamstring, and now the groin. You basically come around the entire leg just by holding a rope, a towel, a resistant band, anything, and you target it. You bring it down. So if you bring your leg up and let it drift out, different stretch, then bring it all the way back down. And reverse it like we did with the neck. Do the neck and then the shoulder versus shoulder and then the neck. So instead of bringing the leg up and out, go out and then up. Nice face. Hey! Okay? Different body part. So for some of your wrestlers, they're going to have a groin. They got 5 different groin muscles that all do different things. They turn the pelvis. They bring the leg together. They cross the leg over. They all have a different job. They're going to get hurt in certain ways. And not all those muscles are going to get hurt. Certain pattern. They won't be able to bring the legs together. Or when they go to step, it's like a pull up in at the groin area. Different target, different stretch. The more you bend the leg, the higher you're going to come up. The more you leave it straight, the more you'll be at the knee. Okay. So you can determine how high or low in the groin you're going to be by doing that stretch. And by bringing the leg up and drifting over, bending it more, and then drifting over, you're coming higher in the leg. By leaving the leg straight and coming over, you're coming down the leg. So you decide how far over on the leg, and you can 3-dimensionally target how to stretch that one of those groin muscles as opposed to do a groin stretch. You know, it's a lot more efficient and effective to target the muscle 3-dimensionally like that than just doing a regular stretch.
I like that.
Okay? So now I'm going to have you guys kneel for a second because I want you to now get the front of the leg to do the quad. How many muscles in the quad?
4.
Nice. See? That's it. So most people, when they stretch the quad, they're going to do the flamingo stretch. They're going to stand like this. They're going to go like this. They're going to try not to fall on their face. And they're going to hold this for some ungodly length of time and think they've done a lot for their leg, and they'll switch. If you're ever going to stand up, let the leg do the action. So the leg should really bring it back like this and then relax. And then scoop outward, which is going to stretch the inner quad. Relax. Scoop inward to stretch the outer quad. Relax. And then go back down the center and stand all the way up. And that gets the 4th upper head of the quad. So when you do that motion, your hand is just here to hold your leg, but the leg is doing this the whole time. So as you stretch, your leg is going to go straight back. And then relax it 2-3 seconds. Scoop it outward. And that's going to stretch up here on the outer quad and down here on the inner quad. And relax and pull it all the way in. And then relax and come in and come all the way up and stretch the leg. So, you guys stand up. I want you to try it. Try it at home. Hold your right leg in the air for about 10 seconds. Just stand there for 10 seconds like everyone stretches their quad and do the dance. Okay? Stand there. Okay? Now, switch legs. Your hand just holds your ankle, but make your other leg Hold it, have the leg go straight back as far as it can without falling. And then relax it. And then scoop it back and outward as much as you can, draw it back and out. And then relax. And go back and in. Try to tuck it behind the knee you're standing on. Stand all the way up. And relax. And the last one, go straight back down the middle again. And stand all the way up and feel it up higher. Do they feel the same, like one leg versus the other? Different? Just to try. So it's more effective in stretching all four heads of the quad rather than the leg itself. The other way you can stretch the quad is if you go down on one knee. So you can put your leg on an ottoman, like if you want to put your knee on here, just come in a diagonal, put your knee right there. And you want to take another step, bring this foot all the way up here. Keep going, more forward. There you go. Now you're going to bring your pelvis forward. Like that, and bend this knee. Draw it forward. Feel that in the leg? Yeah. Now, can you turn around and face the camera? So you do this on an ottoman, couch, cushion, whatever you got, on the floor, just a lot less forgiving on the kneecap. So when you come across, it's all about your pelvis. You're going to bring your pelvis forward. You can't just go like this. You're not going to stretch anything. When you bring your pelvis forward, you're going to stretch all the way up your leg, and you're going to feel it in here. Okay? Yours is more hamstring, groin? Okay, so we're going back. So as you do this stretch, bring this front foot forward more. Take more of a stride. So now keep your body upright. Bring your pelvis forward. Go ahead. Feel that? Yeah. Her face will change. You know she's feeling it. And now back off of it. Now rotate your hips outward that just a little bit towards that wall. And now do the same movement. Just slide forward. But when you turn your hips slightly this way and you lean forward, do you feel it catch more in the inner leg, in the groin? And hold that for 2 to 3 seconds. And then back off. And now turn your hips this way and kind of roll your leg outward a little bit. Now you're going to focus out here and draw forward. Just lean forward, bend that knee. Can you feel it target out there? Yeah. So you can target across the leg, and the more you draw that leg forward, and the more you bring your pelvis here, it draws it right up. So you can get really high in that groin, or that quad stretch, where most people stretch all the way down there. Okay? Same thing with hamstrings. Your hamstring is bothering you on the left? Right leg. Okay, so groin, hamstring combo, right? So let's do that crowd pleaser stretch. So what I had everybody do sitting down with your legs and you bent your legs, I want you to try doing this standing up. I call this a crowd pleaser. I invented this stretch, working with the Kenyan runners out in Pennsylvania. And as I do, you'll know why we call it a crowd pleaser, because they're track athletes in the middle of a stadium full of people. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your feet more than shoulder width apart. And you're going to go down into a football stance with your elbows on your knees. And when you're down here, okay, you want to lean forward a little bit so that the weight's on the ball of your feet. And then you want to raise your backside up in the air. But if you don't stand up, your legs should not go straight. As you lean forward, you raise your hips. Your hamstring should lock out. You should feel that stretch way up high. Can you feel that? Awesome. Can you do it again? Come all the way up and come on a diagonal. Perfect. So let's do it. Just perfect, right like that. Okay. So let's do it again. Come all the way down. And then rock forward, and then come up a little bit. Now you'll feel that right back in here on the hamstring. So now holding that for 2 to 3 seconds, I want you to relax. Now I want you to go all the way over, so this leg's going to go straight, and then go same thing. Now come up again, do it again, but keep this one slightly bent. And you feel the groin over here, and hamstring over there. So as you come over this way and you come up, you're almost going to rotate and draw your pelvis slightly that way and slightly rotate. Can you feel that tension in there? Yeah. So now, got it. So now relax it. Now we're going to target the right side. Drive all the way over to this side. That right leg is straight. And then raise that leg up and slightly turn it. There it is. So you target it. So now you can feel. Now, if you want to target it higher or lower, just keep this leg a little bit bent. So relax for a little bit. Keep it bent. And now just do that same motion coming across it. And then try and straighten it. Versus going right back in. But if you want to get up high, come back off, take the tension off of it. Stay wide, you're good. Put your hand right here. You want to target up high, put your hand here. You want it down low, put your hand here. But as you come across it, now twist and push, and by the weight of your hand, you'll target it more right up high. Okay? So you're going to add that little bit of a stressor, and you can target how high or low based on where you put your hand. And then at the end, just do one more back to the center. Come down the center and just go straight up again. And it'll stretch to the center of the hamstring group again and pull that tension from the inner hamstring, back of the groin, and focus it more on the hamstring again. But it allows you to target hamstring. It's either you can target groin, and you can put your hand again, determines what part of the leg you're going to really strain. So just do a stretch, hold it for 2 to 3 seconds, and then back off and bring your hand down to like 2 inches, and push again, and just put a little pressure on there, and then back off again, and come a little lower. And you just target where you're going to feel that stretch here versus up there, all the way up, based on where your hand is. And then the more you turn this foot outward, I call this a sundial, where you put your feet. So your feet were just pointing straight ahead. Go on to 45, just a little bit out, just a touch. Do the same stretch. Now go across again, and now you've got some hamstring because you're rotating your toe out. The stretch is always here. When you rotate your leg, you're bringing hamstring now to that point. And now as you do that, you'll breathe differently.
Yeah.
So you'll target hamstring. And again, you decide if the pull's up here, you got to get up higher with that stretch. Bend your knees more as you come across and lock up the pelvis, and then bring the toe up. Up high. So if you're feeling it in the middle, if you want to go higher, just keep your legs more bent and drive all the way across, and then raise the hips. So that targets it up or down the groin, and you decide how far around the leg. You want to get the quad, it's groin with quad, turn the toe in. Same stretch. That's going to be in the front and some weird spot in the back of the hamstring that's tight. And if you go straight across, it's all groin. Toe out, it's hamstring with groin. And you go all the way across, it's all hamstring stretch. So you can target across your leg which muscle and how high or low based on how you maneuver your body and change up your body. So that's just confusing enough that if you rewind that and listen to it and do it, and rewind it and listen to it and do it, you'll get it, okay? That's the combination move, just like we do with the neck, to bend the hips and straighten and then lengthen the knee versus lengthening the knee and then moving the pelvis. That's how you target how high or low you go up the leg. So we did the crowd pleaser and then the sundial. Like I said, my runners, when they get to the line and they're about to run a 2-mile race, a 200-yard dash, whatever it is, all runners feel really stupid because they get to the line before a half marathon and they don't know what to do. They're like, they just stand there trying to do some kind of a stretch. So a really good, easy stretch for, you're going to go for a 4-mile run on Sunday morning and you wake up, stand with your legs straight across and just bring your waist to one side. You'll get the groin on the left. If you lean to the right, go back to the left, go back to center, move your left foot out 45 degrees. Same thing. Go to the right. Now you're getting groin with a little bit of hamstring. Go to the left. Okay. Move the right foot out a little bit. If you want, you can do them both together. Now you're going to recruit muscles in the back. Depends on where you need to feel it, where you need to target it. But if you take both feet, let's do it this way. Take both feet and point in both the same direction. Your body doesn't change. You still slide side to side, but because you're moving your feet, it's a different stretch. So you start out with your toes straight, do it side to side. Bring your feet on a diagonal. Your body stays the same. Go one side, bend that leg, and you'll feel it come all the way up into the front of the groin here. And when you go this way, you should feel it all the way in the back side, back of the groin, hamstring. And then turn your feet all the way this way. And again, go forward. That's all quad, up high. Bend that knee a little bit and slide forward. You get down into the belly and it comes all the way up. If you want to turn your toe inward and kick your heel out, you'll stretch on the outside of the leg. If you can bring your toe in this way, it's going to be on the inside. And then come back on it. Now you got the hamstring on the front leg. Bend that toe up if you need to get down at the knee. Bend your knee and drive your hips back if you want to get up high at the pelvis. Bring your toe out if you want to get on the inside. Wherever your heel is a part of your leg you're going to work. If you're doing a leg press or a leg curl and your heel's in, you're going to work inner leg. If you're stretching it, wherever your heel is the part you're going to work. So with your heel inward, you're stretching inner hamstring as you lean forward. If your heel goes out a little bit, you're going to do more outer hamstring. And then you just cycle back. So now you're on the 45, do each of the groin. Again, 2 seconds. Do straight up, and now go this side. And then you go this way on a slight diagonal. And now you got the quad with the groin on the front. And hamstring with the groin on the right leg, opposite side. And then you switch it lastly, and same thing again. You come all the way forward. It's going to be the upper quad. Okay, you lean backward. You can get some hamstring in there. You bring your hips back on that front leg. You get the hamstring over here. and you drive it forward, you'll get the quad all the way down. And again, you turn the foot in, the stretch comes to the outside. If you keep your toes short of straight on, you get more of the groin muscle. So you can kind of target, here's high hip, hip, hip. So the runners, when they get to the line, they stand there, they just do one of these. It's just quick, just move the feet a little bit, get all the different joints going, and then they come back, they're coming across, and it's a 1 second stretch, but because you're moving your body, you literally open up your pelvis, and now your pelvic joints or your ligaments are all fired. So when you go to move, your quads, your hip flexors are all firing. Those first steps, you're going to be moving, not lumbering along, trying to get your body up to speed. Okay?
Yep.
Lastly, your glute. Okay? Your glute is bothering you. Okay? Anybody that's ever put out the vibe? You got to kind of lean back. You got to lean, put your hips out like this. Okay? So to get that stretch in there, you have to do like a hip check. So come on over here and do a hip check. Come here, you. There you go. Try and hit me right here. Just do a hip check. There you go. Okay, so as you do that stretch, if you lean over this way, lock your hip, just this way, just turn your hip out like this, and now drift towards me. Can you feel that stretching right there? Now, if you lean forward with your hip, you'll stretch in the front. And if you lean backward a little bit, hip check, you'll feel it in the back. Okay? So now let's go that side. Drift away. If you go straight to the side, it's here. If you lean forward a little bit, you should stretch it up and from here. And now try and do a hip check back here. And really sit that hip back. You feel that right there? Yeah, that's bothering you. So when you lean back like this, if you bend your knees, bend, more. Now do the hip check. Now straighten your knees. You feel that coming down more into your leg? So again, you can target how high, and based on how you twist, where in your glute you can target. Okay? You did great. So all different stretches that you can do. There's a lot of lower body and spine. We talk about door frame stretching for the upper body, leaning into a door frame versus holding the door frame and leaning back. With your arms at this height, it's a different stretch than if your arms are down low. That stretches up high. And if your arms are up high, that stretches down low. So leaning back, coming into it. If your arms are down lower, it's a different stretch. Put your arms all the way down here, it's a different stretch. Versus if your arms are all the way up. And if you need to get your tricep, just put your arm into the doorway and focus on your arms. All right?
Yep.
Easy stretching?
Yeah.
Feel loose and limber?
Yeah.
All right, let me know. Try those at home. Let me know if you have any problems with those and how they work. Thank you very much.